A. Smith is switching sides, or at least that's what it seems. Let's check it out.
Let me get back to the issue, however, of black conservatives. And I've touched on this subject on many, many occasions, and I'm going to touch on it now, but never before have I touched on this subject the way that I'm going to right now. There's a lot of times it could be a Candace Owens. It could be a Larry Elder. To a lesser degree, it could be a Byron Donald. I remember Armstrong Williams. He's been out there for many, many years. I've known him for many, many years.
Okay.
Even to a lesser degree, somebody like Sage Steele, who used to work at ESPN and now, you know, helped the Trump campaign. And who knows, for all we know, I don't think she's interested in it, but who knows? She might end up being press secretary one day. I don't know.
That would be an interesting thing.
Whatever it is, I hope she does well. I wish her well. Sage and I got along. Let me say this. Over the years, we've seen a level of vitriol emanating from black conservatives to a point where people who are not conservative vilified them because of it. I was never down with that.
What up, Miss B?
I'm a registered independent who primarily votes Democrat.
So you're a Democrat. I agree with what he's saying right here, but listen, you know what I hear people say all the time? I'm independent. No, you're not. Usually when people say that they're independent, what they're really telling you is that they're Democrat, but they don't want to admit to being Democrat because they're in a room full of Republicans or conservatives that don't agree with their point of view. Like, if we just want to keep it real and we want to be 100, that's what people say all the time that don't want to admit that they're a Democrat because it's not popular at the time to be a Democrat. So what they say is, oh, I'm an independent, but they've never, ever voted anything other than Democrat. That means you're a Democrat. I don't care what you sit there and register as. That's nonsense. I've never, ever, ever seen somebody that says that they are an independent that vote Democrat, vote anything other than Democrat. I agree with you, Eric D. There are true independents, but most independents that are true independents, most of the time, they're not even looking at Republicans or Democrats. A lot of times they vote Green Party, right? They probably rocked with RFK Jr., Jill Stein. They listen to everything. See, a true independent is not just looking at the Democrat side or the Republican side. They are absolutely familiar with the change in the legislation that influences what happens on the Democrat and the Republican side, right? So they are familiar with an RFK Jr. They know all about Jill Stein. They know about other parties that are participatory in it. And it's not that the other parties can win, but a lot of those other parties absolutely influence legislation that's adopted by one side or the other. And so true independents know every issue. They are some of the most educated, informed people when it comes to politics and the different issues on different sides. And those are true independents. But most people that say that they are independent, they are not. They just don't want to be on the bad side or the losing side, or they don't want to be considered a loser, depending on who it is that they're standing in front of at the time. And so what I see from Stephen A. Smith is, although he espoused conservative values, he always capes for Democrats, while now going against Democrats because it's not popular to be a liberal. That's just the truth. That is the truth. But he's right objectively on this particular point right here. Let me let him cook.
There have been several occasions I've been tempted to vote Republican, to vote conservative. Hell, some of the times I regretted I didn't. And who knows what the future holds with me with some of the nonsense that I saw from the left, particularly leading up to this election with woke and cancel culture and all of that stuff. But that's a different story for another day. Here's the point that I want to make. While finding myself wishing that the inordinate amount of black conservatives that have been out there and are still out there will sort of dial back their vitriolic responses to the venom that's been thrown in their direction. I've rarely blamed them. Because you got people in here looking at folks from the conservative side who happen to be black, calling them sellouts and coons and all of these kind of negative connotations, showing them no respect as human beings.
100%
just
right.
because you don't agree and side with their ideology. Who the hell are you? Listen, most of my friends are liberal. Some of them are conservatives.
Cap.
I have no problem with any of them. All I want to hear is what your point of view is and why. And if you make sense and it's fact-based and it's not dominated by emotion trying to usurp the facts, I'm good with you. Even if I don't agree with you, because I know your position is based on fact. And for folks outside of the conservative community to look at people who are black and excoriate them just because they're conservative, who the hell are you?
And it happens more often than you think. The most unpopular thing to be in the community is to admit that you are conservative. Most black people that are conservative, they don't say it out loud. Most black people that are conservative, especially women. Now, men, they know that we gonna stand on, some of us, a small minority of us within the culture. They know that we stand on business, and it's very few things that you can say to us, because most of the time, if you see a black Republican man or a black Republican man that espouses conservative values, because you can be gay and be conservative or be Republican. You can be gay and be Republican, but or you can be a lot of things and be Republican. It doesn't mean that you agree with these agendas that's then trying to inform or influence what's going on in our schools, or that you believe in transitions on taxpayer dollars in prison. You don't have to believe in that. A lot of people don't even understand what it means to actually be Republican, or what the values are that Republicans stand on. And the fact that we actually stand on the ideas behind, or the ideals behind the Constitution. But if you are a woman that say that you are Republican or you voted Republican, oh, you are the scum of the earth. You are the scum of the earth. You a pick me. You the C word. You are going to be absolutely looked at as a leper. You a sellout. You are Uncle Tom. You Uncle Tom's wife. Your ancestors hate you. You excoriated from the black community. And it's funny because they're the party that always say that we want representation and everything, but only in the things that they like, not the things that they actually. But Candace Owens has always been looked at as a bad person. And even when Candace Owens proved that Black Lives Matters was a bad organization, nobody came back and said, yep, you know what? We was wrong. They just continued to not like her for the next thing that she said that she's a way ahead on. If you are a woman and you say that you are Republican, let me tell you what everything that they're going to say. They're going to say that you hate black men. Even though they may date snow bunnies, even though they're going over to the Dominican Republic to bust it down for $13, you don't even like us, so you can't speak on our issues, even though you're a black woman. You married to a white man. They're going to tell you that you a bootlicker. I'm telling you what they tell you all the listen. For those of y'all that don't understand, let me tell you something. Black people ain't worried about the KKK. They worried about the NAACP. Black women, black men that decide that they want to have a different thought, they are not worried about the KKK. They are worried about the NAACP.
Where are your facts? There's a lot of history that goes into stuff. You can see it one way or another, but it's undeniable that bipartisanship played the role. Civil rights legislation, voting rights legislation, affirmative action, and things of that nature. Conservatives did play a role in some good things that happened in our society. The left and Democrats have been hypocritical in certain respects. So if we're going to call balls and strikes, call balls and strikes. But we didn't do that. And we never do that when it comes to black conservatives. And don't use this as an opportunity to say, Stephen A., oh, he's a conservative. Well, damn it, I'm not yet, but I might be one day.
He want to be conservative so bad. He want to tiptoe his way into it. He don't want to fully commit. Stephen A. Smith want to be conservative so I don't know why he just gonna go ahead and take the red pill. Come on over. It's better over here. This honestly, it ain't cold on this side. You're not gonna get hypothermia. The water is warm over here. It's nice, it's cool. Everything is good. He want to say it, but he don't want to be unpopular amongst his friends. So he dipping his toe in the water and he feeling, oh yeah, it feel good over here. Oh man, I'm not catching as many L's as I want to. I want to be controversial while at the same time still playing both sides of the fence. I don't want to be not liked by my friends. Well, guess what? That's what comes along with it. See, I got more respect for the people that stood on their ground in the beginning, the ones that wore their MAGA hats when it wasn't popular. I got more respect for them, and it doesn't mean that I don't want you to come along and get off the Democratic plantation. But see, people picking and choosing when it's safe to come over. They not coming over and being trailblazers because they actually believe in it. They doing it because it's not a popular thing to do. They realizing that the majority of the country voted for Trump. So now they like, you know what? That might not be such a bad thing to do. Might not be such a, I might be one day. Nah, bro, you want to do it. You just don't want to own it. You don't want to be honest about it. You want to do it. You want to be amongst us. You want to rock out. You just don't want to be honest about it. Stand on what you say and mean what you say. Become an outcast like Carrie. Become a black sheep like my girl Carrie. Get removed from the group chat like Carrie do. Don't worry. We gonna pick you up. We got your back. Get removed from the group chat like the rest of us. Be looked at as the black sheep of your family. It's fun. I promise you it's fun. Thanksgiving dinner ain't even that good anyway. All they serving up is a plate of diabetes. RFK Jr. don't even agree with what your grandma and your mama and your sister and her cousin, because the cat was in the kitchen while she was cooking. So not only are you going to get a fur ball in your throat when you eat that whack macaroni and cheese, but RFK Jr. is trying to fix the food anyway. It's better over here. All you're going to get is a plate of diabetes. Kool-Aid. Girl, come over here and get some of this. Her arm look just like this. The bottom of your auntie's arm is flabbing just like this. She ain't even got on no house coat. That's all skin. It's all skin. And she keep on wearing waist trainers. You know, waist trainers don't fix what's inside of your body, right? You actually got to eat differently and work out. You know, if your auntie's the back of her arm back here, if it do like this, you probably shouldn't eat what she eat. If the auntie, the sister, the mother, and the granddaughter is all built the same and they got that little flab that do like this at the bottom, don't even go to the barbecue. It ain't even fun no more. It ain't fun once you realize what's in it. They pour all of that sugar. They cure it in sugar, and then they put some more sugar on top of it. And then they give you some more sugar inside of your Kool-Aid. And then they take the Everfresh that they gave you, and then they want to sweeten it up. And so they put some more sugar inside of it. And then they put butter and sugar inside of every single thing that they got. Girl, that seasoned with love. That seasoned with death. That seasoned with death. Girl, look at all of that. We don't use no measuring cup. We season that with love. Then you keep saying, "Oh, I got the itis." No, your whole system is crashing and resetting every single day because they seasoned it with love. You lethargic every day. You ain't got no more energy no more because they season it with love.
Because I don't like the shit I've been seeing. But my voting record says otherwise. This is not about that. This is about us being grown-ups and being respectful of other people's positions and feelings and taking a moment to inhale and digest what the hell they're saying and deciphering what's true and what isn't true before we take a position. It's important that we do that. But we haven't been doing that. And then we wonder why black people in this country are the one disenfranchised community that exists in this country. You know why? Because we don't demand that you flatter us. Let me explain my position.
Somebody is in the hair shop saying, turn him off. I don't like him right now. Somebody's mama, somebody's auntie is listening to me inside of the beauty salon. And they say, I don't like him. Why? Why you don't like me? I ain't saying nothing but the truth. I don't like him. Your nephew keeps saying, auntie, can we go out and run? Keep pinching the back of your arm. Auntie, you keep doing like this every time he pinches the back. Hey, auntie, he keep grabbing the back of your arm. Auntie, can we go to the store today? You keep pulling away from him because you heard me say what I said on the Millionaire Morning Show. Now you feeling some type of way and now you unsubscribe. Shout out to my beauty salons. Listen, I ain't mean nothing by it, auntie. Auntie, I ain't mean nothing by it. I don't even know you. I ain't know that your arm was the way it was, but we could fix that. We could fix that. I'm all about making sure that we add value. Me too. I got things that I need to work on. I'm working on it every day. I'm working on it every day. Last night, I DoorDashed some hot pretzels. I knew that I wasn't supposed to DoorDash no hot pretzels. I got to change. Listen, I'm working on some stuff too. I'm working on some stuff. Auntie, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. I like hot pretzels. You like sugar in your sugar.
Even further, if you go to buy a house, do you buy it without looking at it, walking through it, probing and investigating before you decide to make that investment? Do you do something like that with a car as well? Don't you do it with clothes? Don't you do it with any purchase that you get?
Shout out to Ashley.
But when it comes to politics, no such thing. So in other words, the vast majority of black Americans in this country, particularly since 1964, have basically said, the right, you know what? You ain't worth a damn. We don't like you. We don't trust you. So guess what? We ain't giving you our vote. We can't come together for shit under most circumstances. But suddenly with politics, 85, 90%, etc. Oh, we gonna roll with the left. So what you've done is you've disenfranchised yourself. Why? Because the left know they have your vote and you're not going anywhere, and boom, you don't have to cater to African American needs. And on the right, you're like, we ain't getting their vote anyway, so let's pay attention to the constituent that's gonna put us in office. Either way you slice it, this one gives you little representation because they're taking you for granted. This one gives you little representation and no representation because they know they don't have your support anyway. And why are the other communities successful? Because I don't give a damn whether it's Cuban, it's Dominican, it's Venezuelan, it's Guatemalan, it's Puerto Rican, it's Mexican. I don't care what it is. You're Asian. You're the Jewish community. An abundance of white folks in the United States of America. Somehow, some way, everybody successfully goes about the business of making sure they tell you, show us you're worthy of our vote before we give it to you. And as a result, you have to cater to them. We don't do that. We don't.
Let me tell y'all something. I'm going to just tell y'all the truth. Stephen A. Wright is 100% on this. Stephen A. Smith is 100% right on this. Most black conservatives catch hell, but here's the key. And I had this conversation with a lot of people. I'm gonna have a lot of politicians coming into the studio to do interviews this year. It's gonna be awesome. But here's the key about this whole thing, man. What we realize, what conservatives realize in this election is that it wasn't any point in trying to cater to y'all because y'all only a minimal part of the population anyway. So what difference will it make? Why are we chasing them? Why would we chase 13.6% of the population when the majority of the people that is going to vote for this election ain't them? They already committed to them. Let them eat themselves. Let them have themselves. The only place that it matters when it comes to catering to a particular part of the population instead of focusing on a majority of what the people want is in these urban communities. That's it. It's in the urban communities. You gonna believe me? Look no further than Thornton Township and Dolton, Illinois. Even though they trying to oust Tiffany Henyard, look at how they're doing it. And then ask yourself, who are they replacing her with and what are they going to do differently? Because, for example, Dolton and Thornton Township was in shambles way before Tiffany Henyard got there. She just exponentially made it worse. Chicago was in shambles way before Brandon Johnson got in office. He just exponentially made it worse. Even when y'all oust people, y'all replace them with the same people that do worse than they did before they got there. And so it don't even really matter. It's the same thing over and over again. The first thing that you have to do if you want to convert somebody over to being more Republican is that you don't tell them to vote Republican like Democrats say, mobilize and get people to the polls. You just educate them. Every day you come here, every day you show up, we laugh, we play, we cry, we talk stuff back and forth. But you know what you leave with? You leave with a different mindset than when you came in. Very few of you people that actually come to the Millionaire Morning Show, very few of you people leave after viewing this show for 2 or 3 episodes, let alone for 6 months straight, and you can't say that you different or you better than before you got here. You got a whole nother mindset, a whole level of motivation, a whole new family of people that care for you and pray for you. You got a whole new ideals, a set of ideals that say that I don't want to run in the Victim Olympics. You look at your children differently and say that I don't want them to grow up the way that I grew up and this is the way that I got to do it. You start to remove the excuses. You remove the mindset that got you in that situation in the first place. I will tell you definitively that when you leave my show after watching me for at least a month, you start looking at your own family different. That's a fact. You can't watch my show and then go back home or go to Thanksgiving dinner, hear those conversations, and it register the same way. You different when you leave. You different when you leave. You don't realize it because every day it's a little bit of different program. I'm reprogramming you. Every day through entertainment, I put the medicine and the candy through the bag chasers and the Patreon. I force you to reevaluate your circumstances in life without you even realizing that I'm doing it. Every day, I reprogram you a little bit more and a little bit more. And so then when you go home or then when you start dealing with all of these dusty people, you be conflicted. You wouldn't believe how many people I converted over into this election. You wouldn't believe how many people I converted over into this election. It's a fact. Because you can't be around and then start to not critically think. I believe that Eric D is 100% conservative. He only maintains his position and his trolling because he wouldn't be Eric D to y'all if he didn't think differently. If he started to actually be like, you know what, I actually do agree with y'all, he don't feel like he would still be special. He don't even feel like he would still be special. Some people say stuff just because they want to get my attention, and I understand it. I understand it. I get it. But we know that you are different than when you got here. You different in how you think about your finances. You different in how you raise your children. You can't be around me and not be different. Light and darkness can't exist in the same space. So I'm going to rub off on you. I am definitely going to rub off on you. You're going to start looking at your marriages different. I run into people every day. I ran into somebody in the mall on my way to the Apple store the other day, and they said, man, I married her. I married her. And then he brought his wife over. He said, come on, babe. Come here, come here, come here. I want you to meet him. I get y'all married. I get you rich. I get you righteous. And I get you right. I get you married. I get you rich. I get you righteous. And I get your life right. That's a fact. That is a fact. You don't even look at money the same. You don't even look at assets the same. You don't even want the same stuff no more. I get you married, I get you rich, I get you righteous, I get you right. You can watch all of that other stuff and for the entertainment value, but over here we change lives.